Hello, welcome to Eric Bunk's Vintage Sportsman Spring Summertime Special. It's a little bit of both. We have some fishing. We have a special on our traveling bear bow that's coming in. We're getting that today in the mail. And we got a bunch of things for you here. So stay tuned. I think you're going to enjoy this video. Thanks for watching. Okay guys, what I'm doing here today is I'm making some Carpenter bee traps. Get an ordinary jar, put a hole right in the top. And you make it big enough where a big Carpenter bee can get in. And then what you're going to do is take the cap and you have this block of wood. You're going to drill down in, straight through. And you make like a cavity. And then you're going to drill, because it'll be hanging this way obviously. And then you drill holes up into that cavity. And the bee, when he goes in, he'll go up that cavity into the center, down into the jar, and he won't be able to come up and get out. So it'll be up through the center, straight hole up through the center, and then in the sides like on an angle. So you have your angle in and then up through the center, and then that jar is going to sit on the bottom, and this top is going to be stuck to the bottom with a hole in it into the other hole. Drill a hole right through the cap into the wood, up into that center thing. Then you put a hook on the top and you hang it. And the key is to catch one bee. As soon as you catch the first one, then it'll leave a pheromone and it'll catch more. There's some where I don't catch any bees and it's difficult. You got to plug up the holes they already have and you have to hang it just right. They make bait for them, but it's hard to get the secret to catching that first one. But maybe if you guys out there know. But once you catch one, I have one that caught like 15 of them, and then ones that don't catch any. So, you know, I like to take this. This was an old beam, part of a pallet actually, and it's like, looks like it's untreated wood, but it was like not even like your regular pallet. It was an exhaust fan or something that came into work, and this was the part of the packaging. But it doesn't seem to have any paint on it or anything. And maybe there's certain kind of wood these bees are attracted to, but I don't know. They don't seem to be too picky around here. So we're gonna mess around with this and see. You know, we're gonna start drilling. We'll drill that center hole down through. All right, now we got that angled hole angling up forward. Another hole angling up forward on an angle, and your hole in the bottom. So when they go up in that hole, and they'll reach into this cavity and then drop down in, hopefully down into the canister. But the key is they'll leave that pheromone there. And then I got to drill a hole in this top, and then you screw it to the bottom, and that's our next step, and then we'll be on our way. And then what I'm going to do on the top is I'm going to drill a pilot hole and then put that little eye hook in there, and that can to hang it. So, but you got to drill a pilot hole first, so we'll do that next. And here we are. We drilled the pilot hole, and we just twist that down in, and we have our way to hang it. And like I said, that's just angling. Like if you could see a side view. That's angling up. This one's angling up. You know, I don't know why the angle is better. There might be a scientific reason for that. Maybe it crawls up in further and then goes down. I don't know. But that's the way I've seen them made. So now we just got to get the bottom put together. And there you have it, folks. There's your center hole. It goes up the center. And then you have your angled hole. And hopefully the bee goes in there and comes out there. And you hang from the top and you screw your jar on. Now if you notice here, I get a lot of bee activity around here. I got one hanging. No activity yet. But I think the key is when you start, you want to make sure that any holes that they made already you plugged up so they search for more. I know that's one of the tricks. But and I'll show you the one I got up against the house. I mean, this is a natural area for them, but now this one, since I caught one bee in it, this is the hot trap. I mean, look at that, the amount of bees that are in there, if you could see that. And it is just amazing, the amount of carpenter bees that is caught. You know, and it's just a simple trap there. And that pheromone is what gets them in there. And you can let them go if you so desire. You know, you don't have to let them sit in there. But that's what it does. Keeps them from boring holes in your house. There's mine hanging up in the barn here, and I think the birdies are all gone up in there now. But yeah, this is where they like to attack, and they like to drill holes. So keep as many of them bee traps up there as you can, and once you catch one, you'll get a bunch. Awesome.
No way.
Welcome to Eric Bunk's Vintage Sportsman. We're down here. I'll show you fishing underneath the bridge.
You see that?
Uh-oh, with the big man, my friend Gary. Let's see. What do you got? What'd you catch?
Bridge.
What'd you catch?
The bridge.
That's not a good catch.
I'm not going up there to get it.
Alright. Guess I'm gonna have to go up and get it. We'll be right back. There's a little carp right there.
Huh?
Carp. Sucker.
Know that you are a shooting star.
Big carp out there.
Yeah, I seen it, whatever it is, and then glow in the dark fish.
Well, not that, there's another one down there. Eating my bait before I even get hooked. They eat my bait and I don't get hooked on something. I go right out to the stream. Washes it down.
What the heck?
Whoa, we got one.
What?
A little lumper. Right there.
Oh.
There we
Yeah.
go. There we go.
Bigger. It looks like it's bigger than the one I had.
White perch.
Yeah, that's what probably all with them are.
There's some other ones down there. No fish.
There are other fish in there somewhere, man, but
Oh, they're there.
I'm going river bait.
All right, here we go. White perch, live bait under the bridge. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We got another one. All right, yeah. Let's see what we got here. Whoa. Nice little fish. Show him to the camera so you can see what we got here. See, there you go. All right, yeah, you got him. All right.
Catch a bunch of these and grind them up, man.
Yeah.
Big patties.
There you go. You got to show them to the camera.
Can you grab the network?
Good fish. There's a whole group of fish out there. We're waiting when it washes the bait down in, and it washes them right to the center. You may get one. Oh, you got one.
Yeah, look at it.
That's all right, it's a fish. White perch.
I had hits before on that.
Yeah, they're right in the center there. We'll just keep on trying.
I met I met groups of kids. One chick goes, "Oh, you should comb your hair, part it in the middle." And that, ever since, man, that's how I've been combing it. That's the good old days. I was young, man. I was probably like 13, man. Good old days. Now I'm gonna be 58. 58. You? 52. Oh, you're as old as Howard. Yeah.
And where'd you get that bait?
Floating on the edge of Greenwood Lake.
Really? That's a good bait right there. Somebody lost it.
Pro Bros.
Huh. Can't beat that. Show you, we got the old school tackle box today. Belonged to Gary's father, right?
No.
Great. Oh, you?
Yeah.
All right. That's still good.
Yeah.
He's going to catch a big one. He's going to catch the big one of the day. I guarantee you.
Too heavy for that, man. This definitely will hook onto something. Small but heavy. Oh.
Hey guys, welcome to our spring special. Ready for some bass fishing. And we got our 3 boxes. We're going to show you some of the lures that we use, and show you the old school fishing rod that I got here. I'll have to show you this up close. You can read that. The old Garcia. And then the old style Ambassador fishing reel. This is as old school as it gets right there. And I like this. This is awesome, man. It's clunky, but fiberglass, but before you had the ugly stick, this is what you had, and this will haul any big bass at a heavy cover that you can find. And I got Iser line on here, green. It's a greenish color. I think it's about 17-pound test that I'm using on this one. So I'll show you the boxes next. Here's our main bass box, which we have just a variety of baits in case I want to go anywheres. I have a mishmash and a mix of everything. I mean, there's so many baits to use, but then you get the idea. These floating sunfish are awesome. They lay on the surface of the lily pads, and you can make it like a dead sunfish. Works awesome. These frogs work phenomenal. And the thick stuff. I like fishing the thick stuff. And these Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, these things are just awesome. They're just so lifelike. They're all stuck together kind of, but you know, they're all jointed, and they just really work great, especially for the early spring, because you got a lot of, you know, the carp and the suckers running up with the creek by my house. So you know, these catch a lot of fish. They're like a go-to bait, like an all-the-time type of bait. And you have your good old crazy crawler, the original, and your Zara spooks. And you have there's so much, just various baits. And this is something phenomenal that I just found. And it comes with extra tails, and it looks so lifelike in the water. It looks like a real mouse when it goes across the water. I mean, it is good for anywheres. I mean, big bass, muskies. I mean, this thing is just so, it's almost creepy. The tail is just creepy. Another phenomenal bait. And we have them on here. I learned this from Jimmy Houston. It says always put red on the bottom of your baits. And I just take a magic marker and put some red on there. That came from an old timer, Jimmy Houston said, that used to tell him all the time. I must think maybe it's like a wounded critter. And more baits down here. You know, you got the classic jitterbug. Everybody knows that one. And these little sunfish lures work great because around docks, a lot of sunfish. And you have, of course, your heavy covered buzz baits and things like that. And over here, just various crankbaits. You know, your crawfish, your minnows, just so many. And there's a difference with the square bills versus the round bills. I think the square bills are supposed to be better for wood and timber. They bounce off better. And just to show you what we have, this is our main box here. But this is just an all-around kind of box here. And we'll show you what else we have. Okay, this is our worm box. I bet you guys could almost smell it from here. Everybody knows that smell. And this just has so many different types of worms, and you know, you got the old sparkle worm gel, and this stuff, I think, you know, I don't know if it works or not, but I think it makes a difference. That's just my opinion, but it keeps them lubricated, has a nice smell to it. And then clear water. Oh, these are just deadly. They have so many different colors, but these are just between clear and these metal flake worms. And of course, you got your motor oil. Jimmy Houston swears upon the motor oil. That was the old color back in the day. And the old regular worm color. I mean, the plastic worm's the #1 catching bait of all time. Then there's so many different categories. You know, your frogs, and then just more and more worms, and then more worms here on the bottom, and critter baits. And when you go to Florida, you got to have this. Florida is the land of thick cover and water snakes and everything, and you know, there's just so many different lures to choose from. I'm by no means an expert, but I just have fun with it. You know, I think like they said, these lures, they catch fishermen more than they catch fish. And these right here, the mans, I think these are the mans. These are the old paddle tails here. Yeah, the man's jelly worm. And that motor oil color was always watched the old Jimmy Houston episodes, swore by him. And here's some more here. Lindy's makes a worm here, and It's just so many different kinds, but I try to keep all my plastics in one box. So that's and they're all the same kind of tackle box. Got a lot of room in these. These are classics, the old Planos. And then my favorite box of all is coming up, the #1 box. Spinner baits. I love spinner baits and buzz baits. The most versatile lures you'll ever have in your tackle box, and we have just about everything here. And we have different skirts right here. Just here, so you can have all different colors and change them whenever you want for the water conditions. And there's down below here. I don't know if we have anything down below here or not. Probably not, but then we have blades, a ton of blades, all different style blades. And we have small ones too. These little small spinner baits are real deadly too, especially in the spring, cool water. So many different kind of buzz baits. And then you have, your real big, when you really want to make a splash in the water, make some vibration. So it's just a little bit of everything here. A whole set of copper blades. You can just mix and match for what you want. And here's the old Strike Kings. These old Strike Kings, I bought a bunch of them on eBay. And there's so many of them here. The old Timber King. I could put extra skirts on this, whatever skirt color I want. Bait mixed in there. And these here, I think it was Bobby Murray used one of these and made it homemade in the early Bassmasters Classic, and then they started to market it back in the 70s or the 80s. That's cool for heavy cover around heavy areas. Another one, the Buzz King. Always by my childhood right here, all the good old days. And then there's the inline spinners. These things work great too. These things are very deadly. Don't forget about the inline spinners who grew up using them things. Everybody grew up using a spinner. Good old spinner. Down here, the Johnson spoons. These are the bait. Use these at Lake Okeechobee, anywhere where there's lily pads, heavy cover. Your grandfather and great-grandfather used these. These were in Bass Pro Shops back in the 80s. I had these when I was 16. The old Uncle Buck's buzzer. And these don't make a loud, for quiet water, they make just like a paddle sound. But these things, had these a long, long time. Very long time. That was in my childhood right there. Being 15, 16 years old. Probably got them for Christmas. Get this side open again. Nothing in there. And that's our spinnerbait box. So there's our tackle boxes and just some of the stuff that we use. Alright guys, well, we just got a little repairing our water can today. Had some holes in it. I don't know, put holes in a perfectly good water can, but neat little relic of the past. Part of our vintage sportsman lifestyle. I love old stuff, as you can see. I live in a junk pile. Which is great. Wouldn't have it any other way. So, got our little can, get that ready to go. But I wanted to show you some bows that I got. A couple I bought from Mr. Rob Diedrich. Thank you very much, up in New York State. This here is a 1958 Bear white glass, and that is just a beautiful specimen of a bow. That there is beautiful. That's a looker and a half. I don't know if you can see it on camera how it holds up, but yeah, the old Bear Kodiak. It's got them beautiful tips on there. You can see it. Oh, that tip's covered up there. It's decorative tips. Hold on, maybe this way. It might be hard to see. Yeah, there you go. And that's just a beautiful bow. It's a great shooter. I love this bow. Thank you, Rob, and they sold me a couple of nice ones. And my all-time favorite, beloved 1957 Kodiak. I love these bows. Nothing like them, especially in the lightweight. And what I have found for me is I need to have lightweight. I can't shoot, especially these older bows. They gotta be super lightweight. The lighter the better, because if they're heavy, you're not gonna enjoy shooting them. Just the bottom line. So, I mean, here, this is just a beautiful specimen of a bow. It's just 1957. I got a 1957 tractor. My father used to have 1957 Chevys, and it's just a beautiful bow. So we're gonna get out in the woods with these this summer, and in the fall, obviously. And we're going to do some shooting. I mean, these things are great. So thank you, Rob. I love these things. And this is the vintage sportsman lifestyle here. Just getting these old bows out and shooting them. They're meant to shoot. If it breaks someday, then so be it. But sitting on the shelf ain't going to do any good. You got to shoot them. So enjoy life and shoot your bows. Hey, folks. I want to show you my new bear archery bow. Thank you, Jeff Nowak, Traditional Bear Archery Group. This is the 59 reissue. This is a beauty. I am loving this bow, and the best part about it is, if you can see it, I don't know if you can, it is serial number 007. This is the new bow, and this shoots really good. So I want to take a couple shots. I got the old, how many of these have you seen? The bare metal top quivers. That's pretty cool. I have not seen many. I know they exist somewheres out there, but where they are, I don't know. But I'm shooting these carbon arrows out of this with this fast flight string. I love these, not cabin arrows, carbon arrows. It sounds like a pepper, a cabin arrow or something. But yeah, so this is definitely, you know, what I like to shoot. And then as far as small game heads, these small game thumpers, these things are a beast, and they are 150 grains. And these things, you want to go after rabbits and you want to squirrels, that's the way to go. So we'll come on along and we'll take a couple shots. We're going to have to take apart the tractor this summer because we have some power steering whining issues, and it only whines in the cold weather, so I don't know what that's about. I checked the filter, changed all the high tran for the power steering, but we're going to have to figure out, maybe it's a valve or something, so that's going to be a nice little project on the farm wall. And then we have old Red, just got a new clutch put in her, so she is ready to go. I got to grease the front end today, get some things done. And then it pays to look in the garbage, folks. And yes, nobody was mowing the lawn and stopped to get gas, and this was legitimately in the garbage, had free signs on it. So but here's some lawnmowers here that people said put signs on, it says take away, and I said, you know what, you got to watch for this, guys, because well, I can't show you in there, but it turns over. So if an engine turns over, there's a good chance it'll run. And here's another one here, and these things, they're good to restore and get going again, so it's a nice hobby. But that'll keep me going in the old barn. But that's some of the stuff we got going for summertime. Clean up these old mowers, it's a lot of fun. And I got my pallets to cut up for firewood. And this is a great firewood source for a little wood stove. Everybody's throwing away pallets, and even if they're in bad shape, we take them and we saw them up, and you put them in the wood stove, and they burn good. So we are ready. We are ready, and then we're going to show you some fishing segments here, and just messing around, and just come on along for fun in good old West Milford, New Jersey. And thanks for watching. We enjoy the fact that you're coming to take your time to watch my channel here. And it's a lot of fun. So we'll show you what we got in our gardens now. And show you how things are coming along. I know we have some more footage of earlier in the year. But now things are starting to grow pretty good. Cucumbers are coming in. And I got some of this. We got some animal activity that's trying to get at my plants, so we're messing around with that there. But yeah, we're in good shape in the old backyard. It's a beautiful day, and just wanted to bring you along for just a peaceful life here we have. And look at them potato plants. Them taters are growing good. Once those tops die off, and hopefully we'll be ready to harvest them potatoes. I've not had a lot of luck with my potato plants over the years, but you know, we just keep messing around with them and trying to get them to grow so they don't rot. That's the key. It's an experiment I do, trying to get potatoes growing. We got romaine lettuce, peppers, eggplant. We got our little boat right there. But life here is good, folks. It's good. Okay, here's some of these items from Ray Olsen I was telling you about. I'm going to start off with some patches here. We have these beautiful patches that he sent over to me. I really appreciate these. And we've got a bunch of them. I'm glad he sent these over. It was so very generous of you. I appreciate it, Ray. And these are all from New York State, and I guess he was an instructor up that way, and just beautiful patches. And we have here Maine, and what else we have here? Sportsman's Education, a nice belt buckle. Have to check that out. That's pretty cool. And here we have, it says here on the package, notice shape cutout and blade. It says a 1959 Bear Razorhead, one of 3 that I have ever seen. And I'm not a broadhead expert. I know that's a Bear Greenie, and doesn't have the tip isn't is pointed. It's not that chiseled, but that's a beautiful specimen of a broadhead, and appreciate that. And here we have some Pope and Young bear claws. And it says, I don't know if you can read that or not, Grand Lake with the Bear Alaskan Compound and Bear Razorheads, June 1979, Pope and Young bear. Here's a bear claw, package of bear claws. That's pretty cool. That's neat to see. And we have here 1937 New York State license. That's pretty cool. Gotta love that. And there's a bunch of buttons here. New York State bow hunters. And here's a couple others. There's one here and one here. And then here's one a little probably easier to see on the camera. New York State bow hunters. And then we have another nice archery pin that was sent. And let's see here, here's another one. Boy, this was just so generous of them to send this over to me. And an old Tink 69 pin. We all remember Tink 69 doe and rut buck lure. And here we have sent me some books, Hunting the Bow and Arrow. We all know this. And with the back, Fred Bear Sports Club. Photographs there. And it said this is his favorite book, which is pretty cool. And we have the Archer's Bible. We all know that, Fred Bear. And I think this was shot right behind the factory, right behind Fred's house. It looks like the backwaters there. And if you look right over here, I bet you that's where Pete Kosefus fell in the water. Any of you guys saw that footage, you know. Sorry, Pete, I read beyond that one. And this is probably a little mud spot there for you, Pete, where you fell in, which is wonderful. And then we have a bunch of issues of The Big Sky. We have so many, all kinds of these here, and just a bunch of issues. I'm having trouble with the lighting. I hope it comes out good on camera. Trying to get the lighting a little bit better here for you. And here's another issue there. American Bow Hunter, which is good. And there's just so many of these issues here. And then we have a couple here. What's this here? Fred Bear Sports Club. That one there. And the Bear Super Razorhead. And oh yeah, this is some cool stuff here. Look at that there, Fred. With his bear that he took. Here's another one. This is really neat stuff. I mean, how generous to pass this along to me. And it has each one of Fred's trophies, what he took with the Razorhead design. And yeah, so this is just awesome stuff. And I'm trying to find the issue here. And right here. And if you do look at this picture here, if you can see that, right there is where Pete Kosefus fell in the water. Because it's right about the same spot that Jim Lovell fell in the water, if you saw the Good Earth. So right up in here somewheres, that's where Pete got dunked. If you look at my YouTube channel, you will see the infamous dunking episode. And here's interesting enough. If you look, the Guns of Autumn. This is 1975. Anybody who read Dick Latimer's book remembers the Guns of Autumn, the anti-hunters back in the day, and what they tried to pull with that old special in the mainstream media. We know how truthful they are, but that's pretty cool. And another little bit of history on the pod, if you remember what the pod is. That's back in, it was a big controversy back in the day. And somewheres here, there's so many things. Picture from Grouse Haven. There. I mean, these things are just priceless. And let's see. Here's when Deliverance was coming out. That's the sheriff from Deliverance who actually wrote. That's him at the factory. He wrote the story and he played the sheriff, James Dickey. Pretty cool. And he's an archer and a bow hunter, so that's where he got the inspiration for that movie. From his bow hunting. And there's just so many here. I can't show you all of them, but just try to highlight it here. Here you go. Bill Negley, another classic. Big Sky. I mean, I got so many of these. And also sent me a 1974 catalog. And just some beautiful 1974 catalog. And here it is. Lou Martinez. This is a friend of mine in New Jersey here. And here he is fighting for hunters' rights back in the day. And if you can see that, the antis were trying to get bow hunting in New Jersey. Well, they're always trying to get them. But I'm sure he is a little bit grayer now. But I have to bust your chops a little bit. I know we're all a bit grayer. But yeah, so that's my collection. And he sent me a nice letter. Bow hunting 55 years. And got his first deer in November of 1970. So he sent me a nice letter. And bow hunter education for 40 years. And yeah, just sent me a nice letter and showed me a picture of a quiver. I guess that's old leather top, if you can see that. Explaining to me about the quivers and things like that. And just a wonderful guy, and I want to thank you very much. I appreciate it, buddy. Alright, we'll see you in the next segment. Alright, now here's a gift from my friend Pete Kosefus. Here's a couple of pictures from Fred Bear's personal collection. And I think Ellie Scott had these, Frank Scott's wife. And these came through the Archery Hall of Fame. She donated them for Diane Miller. Her great service over there. This is Sappho Blackburn and Fred at Grouse Haven. which is a great picture. And Pete outbid me and sent me the pictures nicely enough as a gift, which was great of him. Here's old Fred again. So these were some nice photos, a wonderful gift from my friend Pete. And yeah, just to think that, yeah, I guess they somehow made their way to Frank Scott's widow, and she's still going in her 90s, and it's just cool to have these actual photos from their collection. So thank you, Pete. You were the man. All right, thanks again. Well, that's all for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2, where we have our traveling bear Bo. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching.
I would get if I had money.
What's that?
Pontoon.